we're going to skip ahead a little way now. Margot.
Yes.
You show up for the barbecue. Unfortunately, Josh is having to work late. It's the peril of being a sheriff. But you can bring Isabel and Isaac along. After all, a lot of the neighborhood kids are going to be here. You don't want them to be left out, do you?
No, of course not. Josh not coming home probably delayed things for me just a bit, but I always believe on being on time, but the kids came home dirty, so it was throwing them into the bath, scrubbing off faces, and trying to get them presentable, at least for this event.
They always seem to come home dirty now. You don't know, you grew up around here. You've known plenty of the places the kids go to play, but hell, they must have found a den out in the woods or something like that, because they are constantly covered in briar and mud and scratches. You have had to buy the same damn shirts for them several times this year alone, because they just keep ripping up the clothes. They're their school clothes. They don't have a uniform, not at this school, but they do have clothes designated for school, and they just keep battering the damn things.
Yeah, if they keep this up, the following school year, I'm going to get on the front end of this. I'm just going to buy multiples of each outfit at the point that we buy them for the school year, because it's getting exhausting. But you know what? They're happy.
Yeah.
They're safe. I've ensured their safety. We as a community have ensured their safety. And they're together. And really, if it gets Isaac off of his headphones listening to whatever this music is that he's been exposed to, I'm happy. Let them be outside. It's good for them. It's healthy. We can always buy new clothes.
Exactly. That's what they're always saying these days, isn't it? That children don't play outside enough. That children aren't close enough to nature. They're not breathing in fresh air. Your kids are getting that. Hell, that's something other parents in this community should be aspiring to with their kids.
I've tried to tell them, but people arrive at their conclusions when they get there. Sometimes a gentle nudge is necessary, and sometimes you have to push their face into the fire. They'll come around. They'll see. Outside is good for the kids.
As you make your way into the miller's backyard, you hear, "I see the two eyes watching me." And sashaying towards you comes Stacy Wishford. She's a young woman, a model, very young in fact, early 20s, and somehow afforded a house in Novaville by herself. And when she refers to the two eyes, it seems she's talking about you. And then she walks up to your kids. Isabel, Isaac. Hi, Stacy. You run on, I just want to speak to your ma. Margot, it's been a few months.
Force the smile, force the smile, force the smile. This woman is gorgeous. And I don't understand how she's here unaccompanied by a husband. Stacy, hi. It has been some time. How are you, sweetie?
Well, I've been out in L.A.
How exciting for you. Working, I presume?
Oh, yeah. Although I'm probably not going to be leaving Novaville for much in the near future. Would you like a walk before... did you bring potato salad?
I did. That was my mother's recipe. You've tried it before, right? At the Jenkins?
Oh, a long time ago. I couldn't eat. I'm sure it's delightful, but the carbs, the yogurt, it'll just add the pounds to my sides. I can't. Not right now. But thank you. You eat as much as you like.
I could clip this girl running at her top speed with a 9mm from 200 yards. Stacy, yes, no, it's okay. I understand. You have a particular palate, and she's going to slip her arm within this girl's arm, and they're going to take this cute little stroll.
How did the Millers end up with the biggest yard in Novaville? It's like a park back here.
Well, it's beautiful. Becca got them a great deal.
Well, she's who brought me into the community, so you can blame her.
What can I do for you, Stacy?
Actually, it's something... Well, I'm going to say something that you might find a little rude, but I'm excited about it. There's a rumor going around, and I don't think it's a bad rumor. I'll hasten to add. There's a rumor going around that you might have an OnlyFans presence. And that's cool, that's fine. I think that is so 2023.
I abruptly stopped walking. And then I shift my positioning where I'm standing directly in front of her. Is that so? A rumor that you heard?
Uh-huh. Do you want me to carry on, or...?
No, Stacy, please continue. This is a really fascinating rumor.
Okay. Well, I work with some mature models as well. And something I'm planning on setting up out here in Novaville. Listen, the flights to and from LA, they eat into my earnings, as I'm sure you can imagine, as I'm sure they did to you when you used to travel around a lot more. and the modeling agencies, they don't pay for your accommodation, they don't pay for what little food we are allowed to eat. Essentially, LA is a big pain in the ass. But most of what happens now, most of us do it all online. That's what I'm told. And I thought maybe I could touch base with you, because apparently you know all about this kind of thing. But I thought maybe in return I could hook you up with an agent, a network. We could get a thing going. It doesn't have to be a big public concern. We don't want to announce it at the town hall. But you're a beautiful woman. You've got a fantastic shape for your age, and there's a market that would want to see you. And by the sounds of it, there's a market that already is, and I don't want you to be throwing any of that exposure away when you could be earning big dollars if you were promoted by the right people. But if I'm out of line, if I'm completely off base, then, and she puts her hand up, scouts on her, then tell me now. I won't breathe another word of this.
So while Stacy is speaking, I am going to clip my eyes to look left. I am going to clip my eyes to look right, and I just want to get a temperature check on how many eyes are actually on us right now. How many people are actively watching this conversation? How many people are close?
Well, it is a big yard. You can see that Doug has just arrived with Deborah. So they're walking in nearby. Kevin stood at the barbecue. His kids around them. But your kids have run off to play. So, no, it looks like while there are neighbours filing in, you've got some alone time.
So I'm going to reach up my right hand, and I'm just going to run my fingertips across the top of this gorgeous girl's hairline, just pulling the hair briefly back behind the ears. And then I'm going to take both of my hands and just very gently place them on either side of her flank until I can slide them down over her hips. It looks like one of those adoring girl moments, but I'm going to apply enough pressure where she knows undoubtedly that it's not. And I'm going to pull her in just a bit, where I'm nose to nose with her. Then I'm going to skirt my lips directly to the right, and I'm going to whisper in her ear, "This is not a conversation that we're ever going to have again. I'm not interested in your agents. I don't appreciate being classified as mature content. And if I find out that you're circulating this infectious rumor about what I do in my private time, we're going to have more than words, little girl." She's going to nuzzle into the side of her face, and then she's just going to yank on those hips. Please tell me you understand.
Yeah, I think I just got the wrong idea. That's all. I'm sorry.
No, there's no need to apologize. I appreciate you bringing this to my attention. And then I'm going to hug her, because I do appreciate her bringing it to my attention.
Not that you can see her eyes, but they bug out a little over your shoulder. She is scared. She's confused. And as you release her, she nods with a frantic urgency. Okay, well... I think I see Thomas over there, so I'll go and speak to him.
Oh, Thomas, is it? Is that who you see? Yeah, you should go speak to Thomas.
Oh, no, not Thomas Sweeney, you know, the and she very quickly reverts to, I know how to actually get Margot back on side. You know, the gay doctor. He's here with his partner, Ivan. I think it's so cute that there's a modern couple like that living in Novaville. Don't you? And she walks off.
I am biting the inside of my cheek so hard they could bleed right now, but I'm going to do everything I can to keep this in check.
Yeah, Thomas Sweeney and Ivan Roberts, a doctor and a banker pair. They are a gay couple. Middle-aged, so it feels more acceptable to the community that you've got a mature gay couple, rather than some young pair of, I don't know, drag queens. And they've got an adopted daughter as well, which is somewhat of a controversy. That is a discussion I guess the secret town council had a lot. Not that there was much they could do to intervene, but the idea of Thomas and Ivan raising a girl... Well, said Otis Pinchbeck, a lawyer who used to work with you, Margot, at least they're not raising a boy to be like them. But Thomas and Ivan, they're friendly. People get on with them. They're respectable people. A doctor and a banker. I mean, you can't get much more respectable than those two professions, can you? And, yeah, they're circulating. Everyone here is circulating. Everyone here is friendly. This is, after all, Novaville. Everyone likes each other. The neighbours get on with each other. Rumours like this about you, Margot, that's natural. It's a close-knit community. People will talk. People get bored. I mean, it's better they talk about this than some of the things that have happened here.
That's true. And I agree with you, I didn't need to hear it from her. And I don't want Josh to get caught up in another one of those rumors. The last one took me over 90 days to calm him down.
You see the Kennedys arrive, as Stacy pointed out. Kevin, you are busy working the barbecue. Have you had your chat with Walker yet, or has there just not been the time?
This is one of those talks that there's always a better time to have it. You know, it's not the right time now, but there will be a better time, and it will happen soon. And I'm going to do this, of course, and then I will have figured out exactly what I'm going to say, because this is a talk that I am dreading a lot, like how to even talk about these things. I mean, he's even supposed to know about what he drew. I mean, my God, it's all a bit much. It's so much easier to just, focus on flipping the meat and, sipping on my beer and just enjoying the night here and just enjoying the community.
Have you shared this with Laura?
No.
Again, probably for the best, based on how you know her. Not that you don't feel like she would be able to handle this. She's a mature woman. She would know how to handle it, you're sure. But at the same time, she's got a lot on her mind, hasn't she?
Yeah, she does. And, maybe I can actually handle this before it becomes a thing, I wouldn't want... I mean, it might be something that would get in between, Laura and Walker. And then I wouldn't want that. I want what's best for Walker, after all. Maybe I can handle this, she doesn't have to worry about it.
Doug, walking into the miller's back garden with Deborah on arm. I'm going to go and circulate, Doug. So, you do your thing, and she gives you a kiss on the cheek.
I return the kiss. myself not in too bad a mood. I do need to have a word with Sally when we get home. I'd rather have done it right now, but you do need to attend these little events. You do need to say hi to everyone, smile at everyone, even if I don't really want to, especially as tonight isn't really for anything. What's the point of these things when they're actually for something? I sometimes think to myself. But no, I'm in a good mood, and even though Deborah was a little bit quiet in the car, which is something that's been irritating me lately. She used to actually say what she thought. She used to have opinions on things, and then suddenly it's all just going somewhere, and that irritates me, but only a little. So I will just smile and say, okay, dear, try not to, drink too much. Wink.
It's a work night. Darling, I'm not gonna drink much. Now, you left your baby, Charlie, with the sitter. Sally had after-school classes. You want the best for your daughter. And so by the time it came to leave, that was around the time that she would have been leaving school. So, again, you've not had the opportunity to speak to her, much as Kevin hasn't had the opportunity to speak to Walker. But Sally will get home soon, you're sure, if she isn't there already, and the sitter is already tasked with making food, heating something up in the microwave, and making sure Sally does her homework.
Yes, and then as soon as we're done here, I'll go home and I'll have a talk again. While that teacher seemed to think it was her idea, I'd actually already been thinking on the same lines. It is time I had better words with her. Granted, I'm not angry at her at all. I think she's just hasn't learned yet that sometimes you need to pretend. You need to pretend that the boring other children are actually interesting. You need to pretend that you like them. After all, that's how you get connections. That's how you move up in the world. She doesn't actually need to like them.
Yeah, but of course you had this idea first. You're an intelligent guy. You don't need to be told by some teacher from out of town how to do your job raising a child. You're a father. No one can tell you how to be a parent.
Damn straight they can. I'll admit, I didn't think I'd be a great dad when I first got into it. I didn't think I wanted kids. But then, well, it's funny. You have one, and then, I don't know, it's that element of legacy, isn't it? You just suddenly feel this is something that will live on past me. And besides, at times she doesn't remind me of her mother, but she does sometimes remind me of my mother. And my mother was a very, very hard-working woman.
You see Margot splitting off from Stacey Wishford. Why, Stacey Wishford, there's a young lady that catches your eye, Doug. Difficult for her to not.
Well, yes, I can't deny she's attractive, but at the same time, I always get this sense of nothing. That there's nothing actually going on behind those eyes. It's, again, totally fine, but disappointing. I always feel disappointed in people who are superficial, who just don't see the world the same way I do. But if I'm honest, very few people see the world the way I do, and I guess sometimes that's the burden of leadership. Still, Margot, on the other hand, now there's a woman I've always liked. We've known each other a while. She has a good sense of, well, mostly a good sense of sensibilities. She does occasionally rant about things that are completely and utterly idiotic, but again, so many people in this town do, and you just gotta smile and grin. We are in Suburbia, after all.
And you smile as you approach Margot. It's, you bump into each other every now and then, of course, you live on the same damn street. But you put that politician's grin on your face for the one day that you're going to become mayor or something even grander.
Is that you, Margot? My God, have you done something with your hair? It looks wonderful.
I shake. It takes me a moment to shake off fucking Stacy. And I turn and, Mr. Kennedy. And that's something I reserve specifically for Doug. Everyone else gets a first name basis, but I'm very intentional about calling Doug Mr. Kennedy because I see the potential in him. And I want him to know that I see the potential in him. And I'm going to go up and I'm going to hug him. How are you?
Margot, I am absolutely swell. Just had a great parents' evening at the school. How are the twins?
They are... And I look around.
They're off playing. You can see them. They're not getting into any trouble. They're playing with some of the other kids.
They're doing well, Mr. Kennedy. Thank you for asking. And Sally? And the baby? Ugh. How's that going at home?
Sally is doing absolutely fine. The baby's a bit of a handful, but we have some very good, we have a very good sitter at the moment. And Deborah, Deborah's good with kids, so even though I haven't been able to be there lately, I think it's all going well. But again, what can I say? There's been so much going on. Have you heard about the parade?
I have. You're taking point on that, aren't you?
Of course I am. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good time to remind this community that sometimes it's not all doom and gloom as it is on the news occasionally.
I know. I'm so glad that you're taking an aspect of leadership with this particular project. It's important. It's important for Novaville. It's just so important for optics. And I'm going to step in. Like, we see so much on the news with, I don't know, these inner city kids who are getting these scholarships and they're just being celebrated and there's all this hurrah, and it's just good to see a homegrown American boy do so well.
That it is. And how about yourself? I never got round to thanking you for taking care of that phantom thief. Those raccoons, my God, they were terrorizing us for months. That
was quite the surprise. But yes, of course, I'm happy to do anything I can to help the community and to help you.
I've always appreciated you, Margot. You and Josh, always looking out for the community.
Indeed. Josh isn't going to be able to make it tonight, unfortunately. He got pulled into something or another. You know how that is.
Oh, I do. Enforcing the law, a never-ending job.
Hey, do you need anything? Is there anything that I can do to help with respects to the parade? I know that you very likely have it all handled, but if you do need an extra set of hands, just let me know.
Oh, I always appreciate you keeping an eye on things. There's always want everything to go nice and smooth, no mistakes, no people drinking too much and getting a little too excited. Don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with a beer or two. I say reaching for somewhere where there's a drink to be had, because I am in the mood for a drink at this point. But you know how it is, some people just don't know self-control. That's what I always say, isn't it? It's all about self-control, and some people, they need a lesson or two from the good old book. That's how I always say.
And I look at you, and I'm smiling. My eyes are bright, but I don't respond. Well, Mr. Kennedy, I can't say until later. I suppose we'll be here with this Monday night. Do you know why this was scheduled? Do you know why we're doing this at all?
I smile, thinking to myself that on this occasion I have actually forgotten, and I say, oh my goodness, Kevin had something in mind. Kevin, he's always thinking about the community. but he's not always the most organized. But, well, you and I know that.
We do. Speaking of Kevin, I haven't checked in with him yet. Would you like to join me?
Sure, why not? And I think to myself, Margot, again, she is a clever woman, but it's just disappointing. Disappointing seeing her do this neighborhood watch frivolity. She could be more, but she just seems to have settled into a position. But at least it's more than Deborah. Deborah just isn't doing anything lately, and again, that just irks me a little, but, well, that's life. Not everyone is destined to do great things. But I smile at Margot and say, you know what, let's go over and have a little chat with him. After all, we're old friends.
The very best of.
As you two approach Kevin, Laura is peeling off from his side. I'm gonna go into the house. I need to get some things, okay? Honey, you seem distracted.
I look up from the meat, from thinking about that conversation I'm going to have with Walker, and I've been going over it in my head, thinking, like, how do I start? How do I make this natural? And how do I not scare the boy? How do I encourage his creativity and still tell him that, no, that's not okay?
Laura, for her part, hasn't even asked you how the parents' meeting went.
That is interesting. I find myself thinking that, that's... all right, well, she has other things to think about it, and she was busy preparing for this. We'll talk about it later, and at that point I'll also be able to tell her about how the talk with Walker went and that everything's fine and she doesn't have to worry. I'll look up... Sorry, honey, I was just so focused on getting the meat right. You know how it is.
I know you care about your meat. She walks off. Margot, we need to chat about those Santorums later. Doug! She smiles at Doug. And then walks straight past him, perhaps because he is a walking black hole of charisma.
That's okay, I think to myself. I have plenty of people to entertain. And I look at Kevin. Kevin! The yard, can I just say, looking lovely tonight.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I spent a few hours on the lawnmower getting all this right. I hope you're enjoying the barbecue. Trying to make everyone feel comfortable. Trying to make everyone feel like they're in good company. Nice to see you too, Margot, by the way.
Hi, good evening, Kevin. And she's going to saunter up, where at least she's side by side, and look over into the grill. How is the meat and the food coming along?
Oh, it looks beautiful. It's tender, it's juicy. Kevin seems to have gone all out on spending.
Yeah, this is important to me, this night, and because you really can't put a price on community, can you?
No, you can't. And the yard work is paying off. I'm always amazed that you managed to uphold such a large yard, even though I keep thinking to myself, maybe a little bit of downsizing could be beneficial. You could put a really nice conservatory back there, for example.
I mean, I do get a little bit of help, it's I have other things to do as well, I have to take care of the team, I have to make sure that we win those games, huh?
Yes, you do. And how did they do in the last game again? I think I missed that one.
Oh, we came close. We're gonna the next one though. I think we're definitely gonna win there. It's with Steve coming back to the community. It just reminds me of how much we are lacking in the quarterback position. That kind of talent that we had back then.
The conversation acts as a drain to all of your interest. As soon as Kevin starts talking about quarterbacks, yes, Steve Sanderson. Yes, Steve Sanderson is a big deal, undoubtedly. New England Patriots. You can't really get much bigger right now. But, God, if there's a man out there who can make the NFL sound interesting, Kevin Miller is not it.
It's true, but I try and keep the conversation going regardless. And I smile and I say, well, you know what they need? They need to see a winner again, Kevin. That's what this town needs. I'm sure you've been telling your boys, telling them that this sort of thing, it's only temporary. You can come back from defeat, but you have to learn from it, and you have to look to examples like Steve.
You hear a shout from across the garden. It's Eli Jenkins, the retired coach. It's all about the W's, Kevin. Get some W's up on the board.
You're right, Coach Jenkins. When you're right, you're right. That reminds me, I wanted to talk to Coach Jenkins. I need to sort out that meeting for Ronald with Steve, because I'm sure that Coach Jenkins is talking to Steve. So yeah, if the meet is kind of under control roughly, I think I'll take that as an opportunity to kind of head over to Coach Jenkins and say hello and welcome him and see if I can start working on that meet.
So a lot happens as a confluence at this point. A girl at your party, a young girl, the daughter of Thomas and Ivan, suddenly lets out a shout of pain from further down the garden, and she's then in tears. She's a 10-year-old girl by the name of Cherry, and it appears that Isaac, your son Margot, has given her a rather violent shove and then a kick. And so some parents stand there with their beer, some people aren't parents and can watch on in a fucking kids kind of a way. Thomas and Ivan, of course, flock to their daughter. Isaac stands back in a, I don't know, what do you want from me? Kind of a way. He looks to you, and when he sees you, Margot, he starts crying. He knows just when to start.
He is so good about that. And I see it coming down the pipeline every time, and it still catches me every single time. I will quickly head over. I will ensure that there is distance between Cherry. What type of name is Cherry anyways? Why would they name that girl Cherry? She already has so much working against her right now. They gave her a...
You can hear Thomas singing to his daughter. Remember, Cherry, we don't talk about bruises. No, we don't cry about bruises. He pushed me. Yeah, but people will push you around, darling. That just happens. That's life. You need to learn to push back, or stay out of their way. I'm sorry. He actually apologizes to you for his daughter being attacked. I'm sorry, Margot. Kids.
I glance at him for a moment. They're likable enough. I have my concerns from an optics perspective. I certainly have my concerns from a religious one. But the one thing I really do appreciate about the Sweeneys? They know their place in the social pecking order. And that type of awareness is invaluable. So I nod, I smile, and then I'm going to move directly over to my son, my crying son. I'm going to kneel down and just show the Sweeneys a bit of a difference in parenting styles. They're singing, she's going to go direct. What happened?
She made me angry.
I nod. But I don't say anything else because he knows that I want more, and I can outweight him.
She made me angry. I don't know what happened.
Did she hit you first?
He looks at Cherry, who is still in tears, her face all swollen and red from crying, and he clearly debates whether to lie. Looks at you, sees you have that exacting gaze. No.
Then I think you owe her an apology, don't you?
No. She's weird. It's okay, Thomas calls over. Ivan is giving you a death stare. It's okay. Kids fight. It's fine. You don't need an apology, do you, Cherry? No. I just want to go home. We're not going home. The party's only just started. Come on, just play with some different kids. It's okay. It's okay, Margot.
I'm going to wipe these bullshit crocodile tears off of my son's face. There's no real affection in it as much as it is the optics of affection.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about this when we get home.
Yes, well, can I go and play now?
No more pushing. No more kicking.
Okay. Come on, Cherry.
I'm going to pop up and turn around to the Sweeneys. My apologies, kids, right?
I know that they are a handful. Go on, Cherry. And if you don't want to play with Isaac, that's okay. But it'd be best to be friends with him. And they more or less shove their daughter away.
Quick temperature check from the optics of what's going around socially. What can she gauge by doing a shoulder-to-shoulder quick comprehension on how this is all looking or being received by the other attendees at this barbecue?
Let's go for our first roll of the session with an intuition, please.
18.
You could detect there's a modicum of judgment being cast your way for Isaac beating up a girl. But you did so well with your role. I would say it's fairer to assess that there's embarrassment. It's communal embarrassment that this fight just happened in front of people. It's all very well for kids to get in shoving matches, to shout at each other, to even kick each other while they're down. That's what kids do in a place like Novaville. But to do it in front of the adults, to do it in front of other kids, that just sets a bad example. It sets a scene. And no one wants to make a scene.
This isn't a situation I can balm now. This will be something that I'll have to repair over time.
Yeah. And, I mean, to Thomas and Ivan's credit, I don't know if that's the right word, they are acting as if there's nothing the matter. I say that, Thomas certainly is. Ivan has got his jaw clenched in a way that implies I am grinding my teeth to prevent myself from spitting out invective. You can see his jawbone working.
Well, as long as Ivan stays on his leash, I'll stay on mine. And I'm going to go back to the grill. That food was unattended.
As you're heading back to the grill, Kevin, you were heading over to Coach Jenkins to have a chat about the arrival of Steve Sanderson when you see your wife, Laura, striding purposefully, aggressively toward you. She's just stormed in from the house. She has something in her hand.
Oh no.
What the fuck is this, Kevin?
Laura, why don't we take this
No,
inside?
No, it's always about... No. And she holds it up. Of course it is the picture. Why is there a picture in your office of you fucking Margot Young and Doug Kennedy and Stacy Wishford, and I don't know how many of our neighbors are on it. I'm not even on it.
Laura, people are listening.
Oh, they are listening. Now this little interval involving Isaac and Cherry is a distant memory. Now everyone is looking. People are trying to get a look at this thing she's flapping in the breeze. The only person laughing is Stacy Wishford, and even she tries to stifle that.
And I'm panicking. I mean, this is a nightmare. This is, the entire community is here, and I am on display, basically, and I really, I'm like a deer in the headlights. I don't know what to do. I just say, Laura, I can explain exactly what that is. There is a perfectly good reason for this, but I think you can put it away. People are embarrassed. I'm embarrassed.
I'm going to count to 7 and don't make me get to 5, Kevin. And you're going to explain it right now in front of the people who are depicted in this piece of filth. Is this some liberal agenda thing? Is this some free love bullshit?
Dear.
1, 2...
Our son drew this at school. He brought it to school, and I got it from the teacher, and I was going to talk to him, and I was going to talk to you. When there was a good moment to look at this in peace and handle it rationally without getting emotional. I see that has failed.
Yeah. I would say it's failed. And you want me to believe that our son drew this? I mean, I'm not one to sit in judgment of art. People are actually creeping a little closer to hear every word. But it's a well-drawn piece, Kevin. It's disgusting, is what it is, but it's well-drawn. And you're saying our little boy drew this? Where did he get the ideas from, Kevin? Was it from your laptop, maybe? The only one I've not put any kind of firewall on?
I don't know where he got it from.
Maybe when I told you to get rid of those DVDs, what was it, I guess, about 9-10 years ago, you maybe kept a couple in the trunk under the bed?
I don't have anything like that. I don't know where he has gotten this from. But we have to look at it.
Well, it's not from me. It always starts with the father.
Why don't we put this away and we go back to the barbecue and we let these people enjoy this event that
they can enjoy the barbecue. I am done for the evening. Good night, everybody. You can talk to my husband.
I put on a brave smile
and she shoves the picture in your hand. I don't want this in the house. I feel it contaminating the air.
And I will fold it together nicely. I don't want to destroy it. I need to show this to Walker later. This is not exactly how I thought that things would pan out. This reaction from Laura, I am quite taken aback by it. Is this how she acts? Has this happened before? I mean, this kind of public outburst.
No. She doesn't... Well, she sometimes has public outbursts about the things she is currently obsessed with. So, things like the woke, liberal, leftist agenda. I mean, this doesn't really fit into any of those categories. And they are rarely aimed at you. You remain pretty quiet politically. I'm sure you are some kind of soft Republican. I vote for them for their fiscal policy, not for their social policy voter, but yeah, she doesn't really call you out in public about that kind of thing.
I named my sons after Ronald Reagan.
Oh, I gathered.
This is troubling because this is making me look very, very bad in front of the people who mean everything to me. Looking good in front of these people as the coach of the local team is required for the team to continue listening to me, for everything that I am to function.
Stacey Wishford has moved close to the barbecue and therefore close to you again, Margot. And you think, Margot, that it is just for this purpose, just so she can call us out. Kevin? Your sausage is burning on the grill. As she looks to you, Margot, for some kind of affirmation.
There's a brief glimpse, like this fast forward, where I have my head on the back of her face and I'm slamming it into the grill. But that vanishes very quickly. As far as a response, I give her absolutely nothing. I'm going to turn away from her, and I'm going to follow Laura into the house.
As you're able to watch, observe, enjoy all of this, Doug, Miller Lite in hand, or maybe you're on the Schlitz, you see under the arch of the back gate, your daughter. She is dressed as she was for school. However, she looks like she's been through the wars a little. I think being dragged through the hedge backwards would be an accurate depiction and description. Her hair is out of place. Her face is scratched. One half of her collar is tucked into her top, but the other hangs loose.
It's certainly a conflict of interests. On one hand, I've just seen Kevin's wife go completely and utterly insane over something that I'm sure is highly overblown, although I didn't see this picture. I've seen Margot, her children... Well, I don't necessarily blame her children for anything. If anything, I'm more concerned about how the young Cherry's parents reacted. If someone pushes your daughter down, you don't just let it go, not like that. But I do feel for Kevin and Margot. I do. They are my friends, and they are part of the community, and this sort of thing is not good for the community. I was about ready to go and put a spin on all this for everyone to make everything better, which is what I do. But then, yes, my daughter. Why is she here? Where is her sitter? And, well, she's my daughter, so okay, I'll let that all stew, and instead go over to her quickly. Honey, hi. What are you doing here? Where's your sitter? Why are you not at home? What's happened to you?
She looks around nervously. I've not been home yet, Dad.
Well, why not? Did she not come and pick you up? She was supposed to pick you up.
No. I think you've forgotten. I was going to be walking home with Fiona. Fiona's one of her few friends from school. And someone followed us, Dad.
What? I lean down and I kind of try my best to then just take my daughter by the shoulder and just lead her a little out of sight of the general populace.
Yes, you wouldn't want another embarrassing scene, would you?
Well, no, not with me. I'm the one who's got to mend all this. But I do take her aside and I just say, okay, so tell Daddy everything. Someone was following you?
It was a man, a really creepy, shifty man. He was all hunched over and he smelled real bad. It was like, and she actually laughs a little, like Mum's cooking, when it burns.
I attempt to smile at that joke, but I'm not at all amused by what I'm hearing. Go on.
Well, he was definitely following me and Fiona, and we walked a little faster, and he kept up with us. We took a shortcut, one of the ones we know across the fields. I know you don't like us using it, Dad. You said that something happened out there a couple of years ago, but we thought we'd take a shortcut so that we could lose him. And then he started... It wasn't like he was running, it was like he was just striding, like his legs were really... I'm sorry, it probably sounds... I'm telling the truth, Dad.
I believe you. What happened? He started following you. You went through the field. You know what? It's okay. You shouldn't go there. But if you were pushed into a situation...
Look, I hit him in the face. He grabbed my shoulder and I hit him in the face with my bag, and I've lost my school bag. Oh. I'm sorry I've lost my bag. I had all my things in it.
It's just a bag, honey. It's just a bag.
It had my phone was in there, and...
Well, I know people will find your bag, will find your phone. Well, what happened? You hit this man in the face, and then?
And then I ran into the woods.
Well, I can't blame you for that, but that was a bit silly, wasn't it? You don't run into woods, you run to people's homes, you ring on doorbells, you get attention.
We were in the fields, Dad. We weren't anywhere near the houses.
I'm just saying that could have been more dangerous, but okay. No, I understand. Okay. And that where so hang on, you and Fiona. Where's Fiona?
I thought she was with me. I think she was for a while. But I think I lost her as well. In fact, I know I lost her as well. I know all the hiding places in the woods, Dad. That's my place.
I do.
And so I hid because I didn't want to make any noise, because when I'm watching the deer in the woods, I know that even if you move an inch, you'll send them bolting. You can hear everything in there. And I heard everything, Daddy. I think he got her. In fact, I know he got her.
And then you just ran straight here?
No, I hid. I stayed hidden. I couldn't move. I couldn't see what was going on. But I heard everything. And then when there was no more noise, I waited, just in case he was waiting for me. And I only came out 20 minutes ago. And I was heading home, but I heard all the noise from the garden party here and remembered you were supposed to be at the miller's house.
That's right. You remembered right. Now listen. Daddy is going to sort out everything, okay? You did nothing wrong. It's not your fault. You understand? Sally, repeat after me that you understand.
I understand.
Good. I kind of hold her quite tightly. I'm filled with this bubbling boiling rage. Someone has come to my town. Someone tried to do something to my daughter. Someone's killed another. Well, I don't know that yet, but someone has harmed someone else. Another innocent little girl, and this cannot stand. This will not stand. This will not stand. But I try and keep that all in. I don't want to scare my daughter, so I just hold her very tightly and I say, okay, honey, I'm gonna go get Mummy. We're gonna go back home, and then you're gonna stay with Mummy, and you did the right thing. You couldn't have done anything. You understand? You're too small. You're only 8. You could have done nothing other than make sure that you got out of that situation. You understand?
She's nodding, but she's not saying anything anymore. She's developed a little bit of a glazed over expression. Probably the retelling of it has forced her to relive it.
That makes sense. I say very quietly, and for now you're going to this is just between you and me, but you don't need to tell anyone else anything, okay? I'm gonna sort out everything. You just, I kind of start looking around. Where's my wife?
Deborah has gone over to Kevin. You don't know what they're talking about, but yes, that's where Deborah is. She hasn't even noticed that her daughter has arrived. Or that you have disappeared.
For a moment, I think of telling my daughter to stay where she is, but then I'm overcome with this certain possessiveness that, no, I don't want her just staying out of sight, so, you know what? I don't care what people think. If she's a bit scruffy, that's just kids playing in the woods. Nothing wrong with that, sir. And as for the earlier situation, I'll let Margot and Kevin boil themselves of their own problems. This is my problems. It's far more important. I will go over with my daughter in hand, smiling, and just quietly say, "Hi, Deborah, darling. We need to go home. There's something very important's happened."
What? The night is still young, she says, with her cocktail in hand.
Yeah, we have plenty of drinks and things left. You sure you're gonna leave already?
Yes, we are, Kevin. And don't you worry, Kevin, I'm gonna have you on the phone soon.
Doug, Kevin's having had a rough time tonight. I think we should be there for him.
I go over to my wife, still smiling. I whisper in her ear. Something very serious has happened, Deborah. I need you to trust me and come home right now, and I will explain everything to you.
And she whispers back to you, I think you can see I'm having a good time without you, and you want to get in the middle of that. And then she leans back and smiles. So let's stay a while. And it's nice that Sally's come here. Why don't you grab a Coke, Sally? Play with some of the other kids.
Part of me for a moment is absolutely furious. But then it's followed by just this dull resignation that Deborah is at this moment in time completely useless anyway. What would she do? She doesn't have any... What is she actually going to do? You know what? If she doesn't trust me... She doesn't trust me, one who's me. No, you know what? I don't have time to corral sheep. You know what, honey? You're right. I'll take our daughter home, and I'll see you there. And I just turn away, and as I'm leading my daughter back to well, I'm not going to take the car. I can walk. I simply give Margot. I just sort of walk very quickly past Margot, and I just very fruitif say... Margot, honey, hi, I'm heading off with Sally. Can you get all the footage from all your cameras to my email, ASAP, please? Thank you.
I was on my way into the house to follow Laura to see if I could unpack or help her compartmentalize. And plus that, I know that girl is fragile. So I'm on my way in when I'm struck with the urgency of Doug's voice. And I think I turn around and I look at him, and my priority protocols have immediately shifted. Laura is now secondary to whatever it is that Mr. Kennedy is requesting. And I'm going to turn around and I'm going to look. I'll get you everything that I have. It would be helpful to know what else I'm looking for.
I lean in, whisper, not in front of everybody, but thank you. I can always depend on you and Kevin. This is serious. Get me what you've got. I'll give you a call in 30 minutes. I need to get my daughter home.
I understand. I'll be by the phone.
And I nod, and I feel some sense of relief, because Margot, you see, when she actually is who she really is and not what she's become, yes, she's dependable. She's a dependable person. Deborah just... Oh, it's not Deborah's fault that she's so... And again, I smile, and I begin marching Sally home, holding her hand very tightly, saying, "We're going home, Sally. We're going to have something nice to eat, and we're going home, and Daddy is going to take care of everything. You believe me, right?"
She nods.
That's my girl.
Kevin, everything is spoiling out of control.
It really is. And this started so well. Now it's all a mess. Even the meat is a bit burned. Damn it. I just look over the situation, trying to see, can I salvage this still? Is there something I can get out of this? Is Coach Jenkins still there? Can I at least sort that out?
Yeah, Coach Jenkins is still around.
I'll head right over to him, because I need to do something for my family, and I can't help Walker right now. I certainly can't help Laura, but maybe I can help Ronald to get some time with his hero.
Trouble in paradise, Kevin.
Oh, you don't even know the half of it.
2 divorces down. Let me tell you, I'm better off.
You know, I'm starting to see where you're coming from. But
Don't say that about your wife, Kev.
it's gonna be alright. You know women. You know how they get.
Oh, if only I did. I think that's the problem. Who really does?
You're right. Well, look,
Hey, good stock of Midwest beer she got in here. High Life. I mean, it's crap on tap, but it goes down easy.
isn't that all you need from beer? But look, Coach, I wanted to talk to you about some... Steve Sanderson is coming, and I know that...
Yeah, he is. Steve. Mm-hmm.
And I know that you are close to him, because obviously you were his coach when he was playing here.
Well, not as close as I would like, but it's... Yeah, I mean, I still have a lot of affection for the kid. He sometimes writes. Well, I say he writes. Sometimes he calls or sends an email.
So, look, when he comes to town...
Yeah.
You know, my son, Ronald, Steve is his hero.
Yeah, good kid. Good kid. Started tossing the pigskin at a young age, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he has so much potential. I could see him becoming the next Steve Sanderson. I really could. And
Oh, that's a bold claim.
well, I mean, I'm his father, you know, I believe in him, right? I really do.
It's good to be supportive of your kids. I wish I'd been more supportive of mine.
Well, you could help me if Ronald could get to meet Steve when he comes, you know? They could meet face to face, and he could get inspired, and he could become what Steve has been for this community. It would mean a lot to me, Coach, if you could maybe help me out. Coach to coach.
He grins at you. Naturally, as a coach, he has a cigar. And he never smokes the damn thing. He's always just chewing it. And pulls it from between his teeth. And the smile drops. Don't forget, Kev, that I was retired because the young, hip and happening Kevin Miller was available to become coach of the Narwhals. And then he smiles again. I'll see what I can do. I'm sure Steve has got some space in his schedule when he gets here. And if he does, I'll make sure that he can spend some of it with your boy. It'd be good for him to have a good influence in his life, wouldn't it?
Thanks, Coach. It means a lot to me.
It's nothing. Nothing at all. I mean, it would barely take me a minute to arrange something like that.
That's what I like to hear. I hope you will enjoy the rest of the night, Coach.
As I said, high life. It's one hell of a beer.
I'm gonna go get those dubs you were talking about. You know, that's what we need.
I think we do.
And I will begin making my exit from that meeting. Of course, he's not wrong. I did take his job. He was old. His time was over. He was no longer an alpha. Not like me.
Yeah, that idea that you are the alpha of the community. You've had it for quite a long time, and it's very alarming to see how quickly that confidence can erode. But keep telling yourself that you're an alpha, and you will truly come to believe it again. Now, Margot, now that you've been told that you need to get all this footage to Doug, are you still pursuing Laura? Or has that completely dropped off your agenda?
Oh no, that has fallen so far off of my immediate agenda because there's curiosity, there's urgency, and there are things that obviously need to be done. Mr. Kennedy doesn't rattle easily.
No. Well, in that case, we will be concluding our session with Margot opening up your app to all of the various security cameras that you have placed around town, of which there are many. It's such an easy app to navigate. I mean, your commissioning of it should have received more gratitude. You're the heaviest user of it, undoubtedly, but it's a genuinely good UI. You can just flip between cameras across town. They're nice and easily indexed. It's decent camera quality as well, ever since fiber got brought into Novaville. It's, this is, and hell, it's on yours and the sheriff's dime that this entire network's being supported. You would get the occasional contribution from others in town. Sometimes Doug will run a charity drive to keep the security network up and running, but ultimately it's your responsibility and it's all credit to you. So you're scanning through, looking for what footage could Doug possibly be so interested in. And occasionally someone makes light conversation with you at the party, but they can tell you're not really interested. Your head's buried in your phone. And then you catch sight of some footage. You see it's one of the cameras at the more distant perimeters of Novaville, heading out into the fields, away from the school, away from the houses. And you catch the footage of Sally and Fiona making their way down the track at speed. And it's crystal clear footage. Main issue is it's footage pointed in the wrong direction. There's a gap, just a small window between them getting to this track and them leaving the school. And you are recording their backs, the backs of their heads, as they move away at speed. And then entering the frame from the foreground comes a dark figure. More of a silhouette than a person, more of a shape than a man. And yet familiar to you, reminiscent to you, your memories of the man who got burned out of Novaville. And he is stalking them down this track. And up to the point that they are almost too far away to be properly seen, you see Sally slam her school bag into this man's face. He barely reacts. He stumbles back a couple of steps, and she bolts off to the right. Fiona, you know the girl. She hesitates for perhaps 2 seconds too long, because then she runs in the same direction, and the man stalks after her, out of shot. But he's very close to her as they disappear off frame. And then, scanning forward, you can get back to the present feed. Nothing else has appeared beyond the occasional dog walker and cyclist. but nothing suspicious, that's for sure. The only thing that remains? Sally's school bag, still on the side of the track.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the scenario Tapestry of Suburbia, from the scenario collection The Forbidden for KULT Divinity Lost. KULT Divinity Lost is published by Helmgast, who have also sponsored this series. Joining us as players in this series are none other than Bridgett Jeffries from Symphony Entertainment and our dear friend Matthew Dawkins. The music was made by Atrium Carceri, featuring a number of collaborations with other artists, and was used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Check out their website at cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for some moody dark ambient for your gaming table. We'd like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, Camilla, Bob Lange, Cameron, Antxon, and Graham Barey for their generous support. And we'd of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for KULT Divinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play KULT with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and remember that community is everything.